for God to use us. Now, I'll be the first to tell you I have not suffered anything compared to so many people. But if God would just allow us just a little bit to be used by Him, what a great joy that would be. What a great privilege that is. Sometimes, again, that we get the world's mindset is as long as God's giving us and giving us and giving us, He's blessing us. That's not always true, though. Sometimes those riches are used to blind. Sometimes those riches are harden a heart. Sometimes that health is because God is being gracious and trying not to let somebody die and perish in their sins. Or sometimes the suffering that He allows you to go through, whether it be health, whether it be those, is used because somebody is watching your life that otherwise wouldn't come to Christ. And they're watching and they're saying there's something real within the heart of that person. Because if it wasn't real, they wouldn't continue on. For Paul here, what he's talking about again is that full surrender, that living sacrifice. You hear people say, oh, I would die for the Lord. Better question, would you live for the Lord? Right? Would you live for the Lord? Wake up every day when you don't feel like waking up every day and thanking God for the things you have. See, it does not take long to find something to be thankful for in our lives. It does not take long for God to open up and allow us to see somebody who has it a whole lot worse than what we do. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I don't mean to I am not in any way, shape, or form downplaying anybody's heart. There's true suffering. There are broken. There are people that have given a whole lot when it comes to walking with God. But you will never give God more than He will give to you. God is no debtor. We might not see it this side of eternity. We might not understand it this side of eternity. But the Bible says now we see through a glass darkly. We see through, the word darkly is the Greek word enigma. It means a puzzle. We see one piece at a time. But when we stand before Him, we'll know even as we're known. Could you imagine what Job thought when he stood before God for the first time, when he was brought into the very presence of God, and God allowed him to see why he endured such hardship? And God allowed him to see why. Can you imagine when Job stood before God and was brought into heaven, they're brought into the presence of God, and God said, Job, you don't realize it, but there will be millions and millions of people throughout history, my people, that will read of your account and will take strength from it and will draw strength from it. See, we don't see it that way. That's what Paul here is I beseech you, I urge you, lay it down. Let God have whatever He wants. Because what He wants, if we knew what it was, we'd want it for ourselves. We'd recognize it was best. Friends, maybe God has dealt with your heart about something. Maybe He's challenging you to walk closer, to do something that you've not done before, to step outside of your comfort zone as far as service is concerned there. Friends, you will never go wrong serving God. You'll never go wrong walking with the Lord. Any time we have that privilege, that's exactly what it is. And God will draw us closer, and God will use us, and God will bless us. Paul here is talking about laying down that body there. He's talking about that reason of surrender. He's talking about that response to the surrender. Because of the mercies of God, what should be our response? Because God is merciful, we should present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God. Again, not only the greatest desire, but the greatest reward for God to look at our lives and say, this is exactly what I wanted you to do. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. There's nothing better that could ever be said than that. There's nothing that even compares to that, because that is the beginning of eternal riches and rewards. Let's all stand this evening, heads bowed and eyes closed.